Hi folks, this is the Lab Cook Foodie here. Welcome to another baking session. So let's go through the method. I'm going to show you step by step the procedure and then follow up by the video component all the way to the end. To a mixing bowl, add bread flour to the mixture of full cream milk and water. You then whisk the content until it is homogeneous. In no particular order, you will add these following items: full cream milk, 1054 grams, water, 49 grams, instant yeast, 63 grams, milk powder, 211 grams, honey, 85 grams, salt, 30 grams, and premium dough improver, 30 grams. It's very important that you don't go over 0.9%. I'll link where I got the dough improver from in the YouTube description. So check that out. Now that's the entire content of the bread. If you do not wish to add any more additives, then this part will be all the things you need, and you simply go on to the next step for the mixing and the shaping, etc., and baking. So in this video, I will eventually add linseed and soy into the dough. Once everything is whisked together into a soupy mixture, it is optional that you may want to leave it on the bench at room temperature for an hour. Just make sure you have a clear film over it. Otherwise, you can continue to the next step, which is to transfer the content to the spiral mixer with a 5-liter bowl. As you turn on the spiral mixer, you are going to then add the remaining amount of bread flour, which works out to be 2,960 grams. Incorporate the flour until it has a smooth surface and feels tacky to the touch. Once that is the case, you can then add the final ingredient, which is the neutral oil. In this case, I'm using canola oil. Add this to the dough. Continue to mix until it forms a smooth surface again. Sometimes you can go a bit faster on the mixing, and periodically stop the mixer to check if the dough passes the window pen test. When the dough has passed the window pen test, then transfer it to the mixing bowl and let the dough relax for about 30 minutes. This is to regulate the temperature as well. Roll out the dough to a rectangular shape and add the linseed and soy additive, 415 grams. Fold and knead the dough repeatedly until the additive is visibly uniform in the dough. Apply oil to the surface of the mixing bowl and transfer the dough to it for the bulk fermentation stage. Only start to time the proofing when I see the temperature gauge is between 28 and 31 degrees. So it may take about 20 to 30 minutes before it reaches that temperature. Proofing at this temperature should take about 60 to 90 minutes, depending on the results of the poke test. Once it passes the poke test, take the dough out of the proof box and place it onto the bench surface. Divide the dough into 450 gram bowls and let it relax on the bench. This is specific to my own requirement. You do not need to do 450 grams. It depends on the volume of your bread tin. 17. Press the dough into a rectangular shape, fold both sides inward to the middle and roll it up from one end to the next. Place each rolled dough into the bread tin and let it proof for a second time at room temperature. As the dough reaches the brim of the bread tin, preheat the oven on fan-forced mode at 190 Celsius. Once the dough goes beyond the brim by 2 cm, then apply the surface with a generous volume of fine mist water spray. This is to ensure that when you put the loaf into the oven in the first 10 minutes, that there is oven spring. Put 2 loaves into the oven and bake for 35 minutes in total. Repeat steps 20 and 21 until all remaining loaves are baked. So that's not there yet. It needs to pass the window pane test before I can transfer it out on the table and start adding the additive. Okay, not there yet, so we're going to do some more. We're very close. Yep, we're good to go. So it has passed the window pane test. So now we can move on.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Please follow and subscribe to this channel for more quality contents.